Hello everyone. Today we are going to read a story named The Making of a Scientist, which is written by Robert W. Peterson, an American writer who was born in the year 1925 and died on 11th February 2006. Some of his works include The Boy Scouts and South Africa and Apartheid. So this story is actually the true story of a scientist who is an American molecular biologist who is born on 11th June 1959, and now he is the board of governor and professor of chemistry and chemical biology at Roger University. So the writer here, he has explained about the scientist, that how a book became a turning point in his life. So before becoming a scientist, one book became a turning point in the life of the scientist Ebright. So let's read the chapter, The Making of a Scientist. At the age of 22, a former Scout of the Year excited the scientific world with a new theory on how cells work. So Richard H. Ebright, the scientist, and his college roommate explained the theory in an article. So Ebright himself, that when he was in the college, he and his one of his colleagues, they both had explained in the theory in an article in the Proceeding of the National Academy of Science. So that is a magazine, that Proceeding of the National Academies of Science, and it was the first time this important scientific journal had ever published the work of college students. And so actually this is a journal for the experienced scientists. The experienced scientists, they usually write for this journal, but for the first time the junior science students, college students, they had written something, and it was first time published in that famous magazine. So for Richard Ebright, it was the first in a long stretch of achievement in science and other fields. So first time he felt something good, that his journal, his writing has been published in that magazines, and it all started with butterflies. So the credit goes to the butterflies, means how he started his experiment with the butterflies. So as an only child, Ebright grew up in the north of Reading, the place, Pennsylvania. So, but there was one thing that I could do, collect things. So when from the very childhood, he used to collect butterflies. Beginning in kindergarten, Ebright collected butterflies with the same determination and has marked all his activities. He also collected rocks. These are the important things. Rocks. He used to collect rocks, fossils, and coins. He became an eager astronomer to sometimes stargazing all night. So sometimes he used to look at the sky and he used to gaze at the stars. So he also had a mother who encouraged his interest in learning, and she took him. So his mother usually takes him on trips, bought him telescopes, microscopes, cameras, mountain materials, and other equipment, and helped him in many other ways. So in becoming a scientist, he has also given the credit also goes to his mother, who has provided all the requirements for him. So I was his only companion until he started school, his mother said. So this sentence means that the mother was only the companion of Ebright. Because Richie was my whole life after his father died. When Richie is here, that Ebright, Richie was in third grade. So when Richard was in the third grade, so that time his father died, and he had to take care of her son alone. So by the time he was in the second grade, Ebright had collected all 25 species of butterflies found around his hometown. So 25, underline that 25 species of butterflies were collected by Ebright, and so this probably would have been the end of my butterfly collecting. He said, then my mother one day got me a children's book called The Travels of Monarch X. So this is the name of the book, which became a turning point in his life. That book which told how monarch butterflies migrate to Central America, opened the world of science to the eager young collector. So this book became a turning point in that young scientist. So see, at the end of the book, readers were invited to help study butterfly migrations. They were asked to tag butterflies for research by Dr. Frederick, underlined Dr. Frederick Urquhart of the University of Toronto, Canada. So Ebright's mother wrote to Dr. Urquhart. So as Ebright's mother knew that he had an interest in science or in collecting butterflies. So what to do for the next step? So which had been described in the book. So she wrote a letter to Dr. Urquhart, that who was working in that University of Toronto as a scientist, great scientist. And soon Ebright was attaching light adhesive tags to the wings of monarch. Anyone who found a tagged butterfly was asked to send the tag to Dr. Urquhart. So they usually tag something to the butterflies, and if it comes back, then they were asked to send it to Dr. Urquhart. So the butterfly collecting season around reading the place last 6 weeks in last summer. Then so the next step for Ebright was to raise a flock of butterflies. He would catch a female butterfly monarch, take her eggs and raise them in his basement through their life cycle. So he collected and kept in the basement, and he started experimenting that their life cycle from egg to caterpillar to pupa to adult butterfly. So he started experimenting looking at the life cycle of the monarch. Then he would tag the butterfly's wings and let them go. Then when the monarchs became an adult one, then he was usually tagging tagging to the wings and he was letting them go. For several years, his basement was home for thousands of monarchs in different stages of development. So eventually I began to lose interest in tagging butterflies. So after some days he lost his interest in tagging butterflies. It is because this is important because it was a tedious and there is not much feedback. These 2 points are very important, because that why did he lose the interest in tagging butterflies? Because it was a tedious job. At the same time, he was not getting much feedback. Means that only 2 butterflies I had tagged were recaptured, and they were not more than 75 miles from where I lived. So he was very less number, like 2 butterflies he got were recaptured by Ebright, and he did not get he was unable to catch more butterflies. So that's why, and it was moreover it was a tedious job, energy taking. So that's why he lost interest in tagging butterflies. Then when he was in the 7th grade, he entered a county science fair, and there he lost. So his entry was slides of frog tissues. So it was the project that frog tissues, and which he showed under a microscope. But in that project, in that experiment, he realized that the winners had tried to do real experiment, not simply make a neat display. So he understood the difference between displaying something and doing the real experiment. These are the 2 important things that he understood, that displaying something that is different than doing the real experiment. So he wrote to Dr. Urquhart and for ideas. He wanted to get some ideas from Dr. Urquhart, and so he also sent so many ideas, and those kept Ebright busy all through his high school days and led to prize projects in county and international science fairs. So he got so many ideas from Dr. Urquhart, and he also got busy in doing that real experiment. When he was in the 8th grade, Ebright tried to find the cause of viral disease that kills nearly all monarch caterpillars every few years. Then next he started that how that monarchs were dying. What is the reason? What is the viral disease that kills the monarch? Ebright thought the disease might be carried by a beetle. So what is the next year? His science fair project was testing theory that viceroy butterflies copy monarchs. So this is another turning point, that viceroy butterflies, they copy monarchs, and the theory was that viceroys look like monarchs because monarchs do not taste good to birds. Birds they do not like the monarch butterflies, and viceroys on the other hand do taste good to birds. So means birds they usually like to eat viceroy instead of monarch, because monarchs do not taste good. So so the more they look like monarchs, the less they are likely to become a bird's dinner. So he found that a starling bird, it's a bird, starling bird would not eat ordinary bird food, it would eat all the monarchs. So the bird starling usually it could get usually eats. This project was placed first in the zoology division and third overall in the county science fair. So next what he did, so the question he tried to answer was simple, that what is the purpose of the 12? Then he again started experimenting. There are some tiny spots on a monarch pupa. So what is the purpose of the 12 tiny gold spots on a monarch pupa? So Ebright and another excellent science student first had to build a device that showed that the spots were producing. So he and one of his another scientist, young scientist, they started doing experiment on that what is the purpose of that golden 12 golden tiny spots. And the spots were producing a hormone which is necessary for the butterfly's full development. So this project won Ebright first place in the county fair and entry in the international science and engineering fair. So from here he started experimenting the importance of the tiny spots on the monarch, and he got an entry to the international science and engineering fair. Then what he did, when in his senior year he went on a step further. He grew cells from a monarch's wing in a culture and showed that the cells would divide and develop into normal butterfly wing scales only if they were fed the hormone from the gold spots. So that from to tiny gold spots, if the butterfly, the cells would divide and develop into normal butterfly wings scales, that if they were fed the hormone from the gold spot. So that project again, when he did that, the importance of the tiny spots and how that it is helpful for that that the cells would divide and develop for the develop into the normal butterfly. So this project won first place for zoology at the international fair. Then in the year half a later, during his junior year, Ebright got the idea. Then again another idea, how he started doing real experiment instead of displaying something. So Ebright got the idea for his new theory about cell life. It came while he was looking at X-ray photos of the chemical structure of a hormone. So he started step by step, that a monarch started collecting the butterflies. Then he started experimenting the importance, the presence of the tiny spots, then how that cells, then hormones, all these things. Then when he was looking at the X-ray photos of the chemical structure of a hormone. So when he saw the photos gave him the answer to one of the biology's puzzle, that how the cell can read the blueprint of its DNA. So because DNA is the substance of the nucleus of a cell that controls heredity. So it determines the form and function of the cell. So how one by one cell, hormone, how they all are connected, and how it would help in developing the normal into a normal butterfly. So thus he understood, he got the conclusion that DNA is the blueprint for life. So Ebright and his colleagues met James R. Wong, worked all that night drawing pictures and constructing plastic models for molecules to show how it would happen. Then together they wrote the paper that explained the theory. So he and one of his friends named James R. Wong, they started writing about that theory. So Richard Ebright graduated from Harvard University with highest honors, second in his class of 1510. Ebright went on to become a graduate student researcher at Harvard Medical School. He started research he started his researching work from at Harvard Medical School. Then his high school research into the purpose of the spot on a monarch pupa eventually led him to his theory about cell life. Means how he understood the importance of cell life by collecting the butterflies from his childhood. So Ebright also become a child though he was a brilliant scientist. After that also he was a champion debater. He was a debater also and public speaker and a good canoeist. Then he was also an all-rounder outdoor person, and he is also an expert photographer. These are the extra qualities in spite of being a scientist. So in high school, Richard Ebright was a straight A student, means he was a very good student, brilliant student, because his learning was easy, and he turned a lot of his energy towards the debating and Model United States Nations Club. He also found someone to admire. So some role model in his life that he has mentioned here, that he is Richard A. Vehera. He is a social studies teacher and advisor to both clubs. So he has also got some encouragement from this teacher. Mr. Vehera was a perfect person for me then. He opened my mind to new ideas, Ebright said. So Richard was competitive, according to Mr. Vehera, but not in a bad sense. So he explained here, social study teacher explained that Richard was not interested in winning for winning's sake. This is very important. Richard was not interested in winning for winning's sake or winning to get a prize. Rather, he was winning because he wanted to do the best job he could. He did not do to get a prize. He did his experiment too because he wanted to do the best job he could ever. For the right reasons, he wants to be the best. He wanted to do the best experiment so that it will be helpful for the society. He did not want to get a prize. And that is the one of the ingredients in making of a scientist. And this is the thing that now he is a great scientist of America. Start with a first-rate mind. Means these are the qualities. He had a first-rate mind. The curiosity, he had curiosity. Then mix in the will, he had willpower to win for the right reasons, not in a bad sense. Ebright has these qualities. So all these qualities led him to become a great scientist. From the time the book The Travels of Monarch X opened the world of science to him. So this is the book only that when he lost his interest in doing so this is when he got this book. This became a turning point in his life, and all the credit goes to the book according to Ebright. That's why he is a great scientist now. So the Travels of Monarch X opened the world of science to him. Richard Ebright has never lost his scientific curiosity. So thing is that all these qualities, and that curiosity, willpower, desire, determined, if one has all these qualities, surely one will surely reach to his destination. So hope children that you enjoyed this true story of a true great scientist, and hope that you will also have that determination to become something in your life. Thank you children.